until the midpoint or at the end, and we'll definitely have some time for questions. So I'm going to start off just by talking a little bit about our environment and about the two diplomas that we have. So the first main diploma we have is Systems Administration and Networking Diploma, and the Web and Mobile Development Diploma. So there's two to choose from. Both of them are 2 years each, and we'll, like I say, get into the details of each one. One thing I want to indicate right off the bat, that no previous experience in information technology is required. You can come in just as a hobbyist or somebody who's never really done any kind of coding or computer work before, and we will certainly ramp you up into a full-on professional by the time you are done with us. So the main thing we want to do with our program is have a lot of experiential learning. We want to make sure that our students graduate with employable skills. So yes, we're going to learn some theory. We're going to learn how computer systems work and the theory of coding, depending on which diploma you're in. And then we're going to take that theory and apply it to working with hardware, networking equipment, coding up websites and mobile applications, everything that has a tangible end result to make sure that, again, you're fully trained and ready to be employed and you have a valuable skill set that industry is looking for. Our lab environment, you get assigned to your own desk in a secure classroom. You will get key card access to that room. You can basically visit it almost 24/7. So outside of when the instructors are working with you in a course, you can go into that room, you can practice with the equipment, you can work with your classmates on projects, and basically take as much time as you need to work with actual enterprise level gear and coding environments. We're going to provide you with all of these systems. We're going to make sure that they're relevant and in accordance with the technology being used by modern IT companies. The other nice aspect about our program is that you will gain work experience with industry. This can be either a practicum in between first year and second year, or a 12 to 14 week paid co-op, which is brand new for us and we're just expanding out. So the idea is you finish your first year and in between in the summer, you get a chance to work in industry and gain valuable experience before you enter second year. And sometimes that is paid. We partner with a lot of the industry leaders. We work with Apple Canada, VMware, Windows, or I should say Microsoft. Yes, we work with Windows, but created by Microsoft. And we work with a lot of local and island-based industry, as well as companies that are remote across Canada and even from the US and the world. So again, we're going to work with modern IT companies and make sure that our curriculum is relevant for the kind of hardware and aspects that they provide. Our classroom sizes are really low. Essentially, you'd be about 18 to 22 students per instructor. Okay, so you're basically in a dedicated lab environment with a lot of hands-on experience and ability to ask the instructor to help out. You're not in a big lecture hall with 100 students. We have a very, very low classroom size, which works out really, really well for us. Okay, so I'm going to get into a little more detail about the Systems Administration and Networking Diploma, one of the two that we offer. Prerequisites, grade 12 education or graduation and English 12. I believe you need to have the equivalent of a C in English 12 and high school graduation, and you're more than ready to come into this program. It's going to prepare you for a type of career in computer and network installation and support, and working with server-based operating systems. Okay, so we're all used to working with our Macs at home or our Windows 10 or Windows 11 systems. We're going to take that to the next level and work with Windows Server, basically systems that run companies or campuses. And then we're also going to get into the Linux operating system, which primarily is used on the internet. So if you surf to a website today or sent an email, there's a very high likelihood that you were interfacing with a Linux-based operating system serving that web content or delivering that email. We're also going to get into database server applications. Every website that you go to, we often log in. All that information for your user profile needs to be stored in a database somewhere. And this is also true in accounting systems and all. So basically what makes companies run and what makes the internet work like it does. We're going to get into those types of operating systems. We're going to be working with, you may have heard these terms, cloud computing, Amazon Web Services. A lot of companies are getting away from managing their own hardware, and they are using these companies to basically run their company's products and websites. So we're going to teach you on how to interface with that and use those systems. Cybersecurity, a huge and growing industry these days. You've maybe heard of ransomware. There are companies that are paid to go and try and break into banks, as an example, and try and find vulnerabilities to help prevent ransomware or somebody holding your data hostage until you pay them a lot of money because you can't access it because they've encrypted it. So we're going to be the good guys. We're going to learn how to defend against these kind of attacks, how to test networks and systems and websites and look for security vulnerabilities and make sure that we work with those companies to plug those holes, to make sure that they're secure as possible and that their customer data is protected. And this is a huge, huge issue these days. And finally, network administration. So we're going to learn how to work with wired technologies and of course, wireless. We often use wireless for convenience, but you'll see that there are security issues with this. How do we protect wireless systems? And how do we work in a more infrastructure where everything is wired fiber optic cable and Ethernet cable and all these good things. So you're going to learn how to use routers and switches and firewall devices, basically all the good stuff that makes our networks and communication work the way it does. So this is an example of a data center in Vancouver at a company called Pier 1. This is a company I used to work for. And I just kind of want to highlight the types of systems that we work with. You can see that these are very, very big pieces of equipment here with lots of hard drives. This is the kind of hardware that we're going to get into. We're going to work with laptops. We're going to work with, towers, but we really want to get our students involved with server-based systems with a lot of storage and a lot of hard drives. And how do we make all this data redundant so that if one of those big servers that you see in those cabinets there dies, another one can instantly take over and your end users don't even notice any kind of issue at all. So this is the kind of systems, database construction and networking and server hardware that we're going to teach our students in the systems administration and networking diploma. A little bit of equipment that we work with. On the left there is a Cisco router and on the right is a Cisco switch. And I'm just going to show you a simulator. This is the actual hardware that we'll use in the lab. I'm just going to drag this screen in. Can you guys see that okay? Is it there? Thank you. Okay, so this is called Packet Tracer. This is a network simulator, just like before we have pilots flying airplanes, they have to do flight simulators, and maybe some of you have that at home. I wish one day I will, but we do this in a network simulator. So you can literally drag on routers and equipment, place them there. You can see I've got a little home office, small business network there. We've got a wireless laptop here. You can tell by the dotted lines there, it's connected to the wireless router. We've got printer, PCs, laptops, and we're pretending we're connecting to TELUS or Shaw, which are popular ISPs here on Vancouver Island. If I just scroll over a little bit here, you can see we can even simulate cell phone towers and smartphones and how that works and the technologies involved there. And we get into more complex networks, like something that's a little bit more of a campus network. So as you can see here, we have email servers and web servers and things, Windows servers, more complex networking. So we can design and build all of this in Packet Tracer and then literally upload the configs into our partnership with Cisco Net Academy and their equipment, and basically design, build, troubleshoot really incredible networks, and then apply that to the physical hardware that we saw earlier. So I'll just give you an example here. If I click on this router, which of course is not showing me anything now. Oh, always during simulations, isn't it? Okay, we'll leave that alone for now. But basically everything you see here, the routers and the switches on this screen, basically exactly match the router and the switch that you see on this screen here. So I'm hoping we're back on the slides here, guys. You can see those images okay? Yeah, perfect. All right, so yes, again, simulated experience using simulators and then working with actual production equipment in your secure dedicated lab environment because we want you to have those practical skills. So I think at this point, if anyone has questions here, Michelle has kindly showed me a few slides here I've added in. You can click on the chat window there if you want to ask a question that way, or you can certainly unmute. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or you can raise your hand here. If not, you can wait till the end of the presentation and we can certainly answer questions then. So if you want to jump in right now, absolutely go for it. Okay, I'll continue on and we'll go from there. So our second diploma is the Web and Mobile Development Diploma. Prerequisites for this one, again, grade 12 graduation. And you also do need to pass Foundations of Mathematics 11 or something equivalent or higher, such as Pre-Calculus 11. Again, 2-year diploma, just like the Systems Administration and Networking Diploma. But we're going to get into full web stack development. You're going to be using coding and programming language such as JavaScript, PHP, TypeScript, Python, really popular coding languages. We really want to have you guys build up a portfolio of functional and impressive looking websites that you can show to a company that does software and web development and say, these are the skills I have built up in my 2 years of ITAS, and I can actually design, build functional and useful websites that makes you valuable to those companies. In conjunction with that, of course, everything we do on websites, we often need to match on our smartphone and portable devices, okay, such as Android devices and Apple iOS. So we're going to teach you how to use Java and Kotlin language to design mobile applications for Android devices, or Apple Swift for Apple devices, okay? Because we need to do both. Companies are going to want you to be able to code websites, and they're going to have you port that application over to smartphones and other portable devices as well. So it's applied programming. Again, lots of hands-on, building. We're going to get into good coding security practices, good user experience and user interface, or UX, UI. It's one thing to get the website functional, but can the end users work with it easily? Can they find what they're looking for and navigate around the web pages effectively? We also have to partner this with database systems. You know, we all log into various social media sites, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. You're logging in, there's going to be a database that stores all that information. So you're going to learn how to work with those databases and make sure that your coding for all that is efficient and works really, really well. Types of careers. Well, you could be working for social media sites, applications for Android and Apple devices. So Spotify, Shazam, Instagram, very, very popular. But of course, there's also lots of local companies or other businesses that aren't necessarily social media or music platforms or what have you. A lot of companies days have high demand for business-based websites and proprietary or specific applications that they provide as a product to end users, and they need teams of developers to build these things. Here's an example that one of our students did. They basically used a GPS tracking system and they built a mobile application, basically that tracked wherever they went, took photos, and then plotted it out on maps so they could sort of track themselves and their journeys and destinations and travel times and all these good things. So this was just sort of a goal that one of our students had to design something as part of their portfolio. Kind of emulating software like Trailforce, which a lot of people use on Vancouver Island and near the university for mountain biking and hiking and so forth. So they basically tried to emulate something similar to that. And again, this would be a great example of a company that hires full stack web developers and Android and iOS software engineers. Okay, so that's what we're training for, is to work with companies like this and build really cool applications that lots of people use. Trail forks I use all the time when I'm mountain biking and I still get lost, but there you go. And then Brandon has to come and rescue me or somebody like him. Okay, here's another example. This is one of our faculty, one of our instructors named Brandon Brown, works for a company called EchoSec. Basically, they provide software for companies to help prevent phishing scams. A lot of people these days are deceived into going to websites and it's not legitimate, and they end up being tricked into entering banking information or usernames and passwords. So EchoSec basically gets hired by companies to, help browsers spot fraudulent websites, basically warn users and say, this is not really the website you're expecting. This is, say, the Royal Bank or whatever you're doing if you're doing online banking. It'll come up with a warning and say, this looks like a scam site. This looks like somebody trying to fish you out of important data. So lots of demand for these kind of security warning types of software these days, because there's a lot of scamming going on the internet. Very, very cool application. If you're unsure about which diploma you want to go into, both of our diplomas, Systems Administration and Networking, as well as the Web and Mobile Development Diploma, have a common first semester. So basically, you're going to get introduced to some coding, because having this skill set in a little bit of both of these areas is good, no matter which program you decide to go and get your diploma in. It's good to get some coding practice if you're a systems administrator, and it's great to get some sysadmin skills if you're a web developer. So if you wanted to change, you go through the first semester and you go, geez, that other program might be of more interest to me. We can try and facilitate a switch over, and you can carry on into the spring semester. Of course, we're going to interview and talk to you before you apply, or as you apply, I should say, and make sure that you're going into the diploma that you think is what you're expecting to receive. But yes, potentially you could switch over, and we'll absolutely try and do that for you. Graduate opportunities. This is a fantastic field to be in. I'll talk about some of the statistics here and then the other aspects why we love this industry. First of all, over 80% of our ITAS graduates are finding work in the IT field as soon as they graduate. Some of them actually are going on to getting degrees, so that is also an option as well. I think I'll mention that in a second here. A lot of our students are going on to work remotely, so it's not even necessary that they're leaving Vancouver Island. A lot of companies will offer positions all over Canada or US or across the world. You could work remotely. But there are a lot of opportunities in Vancouver and Victoria and Kelowna, and we're always pleasantly surprised of how many of our graduates find work right here in Nanaimo. So that's great. Work BC forecasting, and this is across Canada too, and we see this a lot of data from around the world that these diplomas and these skill sets are basically going to be in high demand for quite a while. The internet's not going away and technology is not going away. So these are great areas to be in. The other aspect I do want to mention, great, you're going to find work, you're going to have a really, really exciting career, and we want to highlight that. Yes, you're going to find opportunities, you're going to make good money, you're going to keep learning, but it's a really great field to be in. It never is stagnant. You're always going to be learning something new. You can find out of the 100 different specialties you might want to go into, you'll find 2 or 3 that really work for you. And then you can become an expert in a certain aspect, whether it's cybersecurity or Android programming, whatever it is. You can really specialize and become that super expert in a number of different fields and just build yourself a fantastic career. And many of our students actually even start their own businesses, which is absolutely great. Post-ITAS degree options. If, like I say, most of our students will go on and start working, fantastic, and learn on the job and keep building their skill sets as they go in their career. But you can also ladder directly into a degree program at NAIT, Northern Alberta Institute of Technology. Our students qualify to ladder right into 3rd year of their Bachelor of Information Technology programs, regardless of which diploma you go through. Sysadmin or Web and Mobile, there are third-year programs you can ladder directly into at NAIT. And a number of our students will go on to BCIT or other technical universities and colleges. There's a number of different options to get a degree if you so choose to go down that path. All right, thank you very much. That concludes the presentation. I do have some contact information on the screen here. I can be reached at graham.white@itas.ca or info@itas.ca, and I'll certainly share this out with a follow-up email to all the registrants. And as well as the recording of this video, I will put this up on YouTube. Are there any questions at all?
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say thanks for the presentation. This was great. Really appreciated it.
Okay, thanks, Kaylin. Absolutely. Appreciate you being here. And if you do have a question later on, absolutely feel free to send me an email, but thank you very much. Okay, Brandon, Michelle, do you have any questions?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Okay, well, thanks so much, guys. Thank you to everybody who attended. Again, I will follow up with some info, and much appreciated. And again, we're always here to answer questions. And if you need any more information, please visit our website or drop me an email. Thanks so much. See you guys.
Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye.